I'm Marian McHugh from UC Today, bringing you all the latest news and conversation from the unified communications and collaboration space. Today, I'm joined by Matt Parker, CEO of Babble, and we will be discussing the company's relentless M&A drive and how it plays into its overall growth strategy. Matt, welcome. How are you?
I'm great, Marian. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
I'm great, thanks, and thanks for being on. To kick us off, Matt, could you give us a quick summary of your role and what it is you do at Babble?
Sure, happy to do that. I'm the Chief Exec at Babble. As you know, we're a private equity-backed cloud comms, contact, mobile and cyber reseller with staff and offices across the UK. As Chief Exec, I guess, my job is to articulate the vision for the business and drive activities across the organisation to take us on the journey that we're trying to go on as a business.
And speaking of that journey, you spoke with UC Today around this time last year and told us that 2021 would be all about doubling the size of the business. Matt, could you tell us how that plan has gone so far and, what revenues look like now?
So I think we would look back on we will look back on 2021 as being another successful year for the business. We've completed 9 acquisitions, again, across the UK as we look towards this objective of building a national player in the space that's got local touch points across the country. We've acquired businesses right down in the south coast of the UK and acquired our first businesses in Scotland in the last few months. So we've gone from, we've doubled the size of the business over the last 12 months. We've more than doubled the number of customers. We've doubled the revenues. We've got more than twice as many staff as we had this time last year, and we are rapidly approaching being a 50 million revenue business.
And your acquisitions this year so far have kind of been evenly split between geography and adding to Babble's portfolio. Going forward, I'm interested in hearing, will we continue to have this relatively even split between those two categories, or will one take priority over the other?
So I think the two, if you look at where you're trying to get to, where we are trying to get to, or where one's trying to get to from a business perspective, I think you have to think about both things equally. So there's this concept of building scale and reach, and geography inevitably plays into that, Marian. But I think that the concept of capability and for us as a reseller, capability comes from people and resource and the ability to be able to support and deliver success to the customers that we work with. So I don't see how we think about our acquisition strategy and our inorganic growth strategy. I don't see our thinking around that changing. We have this sort of philosophy that what we're looking to do is grow the business organically, and that enables organic growth in the organisation and organic growth of the business. So the two, I don't know if hand in glove is the right way to talk about it, but one delivers the other and the other delivers one, if that makes sense.
It does. And just on the topic of establishing presences, this year, really widened Babble's presence across the UK. Can I ask, are there any other further plans for continued UK expansion? Will we even see Babble moving into international markets?
So I think that the answer to that second part of that question is I'm not sure. I'm not sure on international. I think that there are opportunities as you start to think about mainland Europe and Ireland. I think that the balance of that is there enough opportunity in the UK for us to be able to get, a long way towards where we're trying to get to as a business? Our ambitions, or my ambitions and our ambitions as a leadership team for Babble, become more ambitious and bigger every day. So, is there a likelihood that we will do stuff outside the United Kingdom? I don't know, if I'm really honest. I think if you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said no. That wasn't. It wasn't on the agenda and wasn't being considered. Is it part of the plan today? No, it isn't. Is it something that we started to talk about, to start to think about? Yes, it is. In terms of continued expansion inside the UK, the two businesses we bought in Newcastle this year have given us a very firm foothold in the northeast. We've added to the Lake acquisition in 2020 with Concert Networks in the northwest this year. We've done a lot of stuff further south along the south coast, and the acquisition of 8020 in Dumfries and Halo in Kilmarnock has given us a very strong footprint in the west of Scotland with clients across the central belt in Scotland. So, I would anticipate that we will do more on the back of some of the geographies we've already gone into, and building on the capability and the competence that we've now got in each of those territories. Are there other places that will go within the UK? Absolutely. This is about a national brand with local presence and local footprint.
And Matt, what will M&A look like for Babble going into 2022? Can we expect it to be just as relentless as what we've seen this year, or will you be kind of calming down a little bit in that regard?
Calming down. I would like to think that everything that we do is done in a calm and considered way. I'm not sure it looks like that from the outside sometimes, or actually arguably from the inside. This for us and our plans for the business, as I mentioned earlier, our ambition increases every day. We did 5 acquisitions in 2019. If everything goes to plan, we should have done 10 deals by the end of this year. I would expect us to do more next year than we did this year.
Strong words. And looking at the broader IT industry at the moment, Matt, what emerging technologies, do you see opportunity around going forward?
So I think this is all about, as we look at the market and we look at where things going, I think the themes. So do I think it's a technology-driven evolution, or do I think it's a theme-based evolution? And I think, customer experience is going to become more and more important for businesses and organizations generally. And I think that the move towards UCaaS and collaboration-based tools and contact cloud contact center solution lends itself there. So I think customer experience is going to become a more and more important theme in terms of how organizations think about engaging internally and externally. And I'll go a step further than that and say stakeholder experience as the next step beyond customer experience. And then the other piece for me is just this whole thing about robustness of organizations, moving to the cloud, being able to adapt to anything that's thrown at us, anything that's thrown at our organizations and our businesses. None of us could possibly, if we'd been having this conversation 2 years ago and you'd asked me what was going to happen over the next 2 years, none of us could even have imagined what we've had to deal with. Now, I think, reading in the press this morning about the unemployment rates and the return from furlough and jobs that are being created and jobs that are being retained, I think that there's a huge amount of positivity has come out of what we've learned. But as we talk to leaders in organisations that look a bit like ours, fast growth, innovative, scale ups, if you like. But we have this thing we talk about in our business that there's a disproportionate number of the companies that we work with that are doing something interesting, and whatever that interesting thing is, it varies on a business by business basis. But getting to the stage where that you can keep going regardless of whatever's thrown at you, that feels like that's going to be one of the recurring themes looking forward.
Well, Matt, thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much, Marian. It's lovely to see you again.
And that's it from me. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and share. It's always welcome and appreciated. I'm Marian McHugh with UC Today. Thank you for watching.